everybody's all here. If you want to start, I think we can get going.
The meeting will now come to order. Welcome to the November 23rd, 2023. Let me say that again. Welcome to the January 23rd, 2023 City of Asheville Board of Adjustment meeting. My name is Paul Wilczynski, and I am the chair of this board. I'd like to start by welcoming Chris Fandanish as a new regular member of the board. The Board of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial body that is governed by the North Carolina General Statutes and the city's Unified Development Ordinance. We are authorized to hear requests for variances from the city's Unified Development Ordinance, also referred to as the UDO, appeals from final determinations made by city officials charged with enforcement of the city's UDO, requests for reasonable accommodations, and other requests as may be provided in the city's ordinances. Our first agenda item is a review and the adoption of the minutes from the November and the December 22nd meetings. So item number one is the adoption of the minutes from the November meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion to accept.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Second item is adoption of the minutes for the December meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both of the minutes are adopted. We now begin the evidentiary hearings for the cases listed on the agenda. In hearing cases, the board conducts a quasi-judicial evidentiary hearing. That means it is like a court hearing. State law sets specific procedures and rules concerning how this board must make its decisions. These rules are different from some other types of land use decisions like rezoning cases, which are legislative in nature. The board's decisions are constrained by the standards in the city's ordinance and the facts presented at the hearing. The board hears and considers evidence presented at the hearing and applies the standards set forth in state law and the city's ordinance. The board must base its decisions upon competent, material, and substantial evidence presented at the hearing. If you will be speaking as a witness, please focus on the facts and the standards, not personal preference or opinion. Participation is limited. This meeting is open to the public. Everyone is welcome to watch. Parties have rights to participate fully. Parties may present evidence, call witnesses, and make legal arguments. Witnesses may testify as to facts to which they are competent to testify, so long as those facts relate to the legal standards. In addition, lay or non-expert witness testimony is limited to facts, not opinions. For certain topics, this board needs to hear opinion testimony from expert witnesses. These topics include projections about impacts on property values and projections about impacts on traffic safety. For variance requests, the 4/5 vote of the board is required to grant a variance. For all other hearings and matters, including the adoption of minutes, the decision will be made by a simple majority vote of the board. Witnesses must swear or affirm their testimony. At this time, we will administer the oath for all individuals who intend to provide witness testimony. So please stand if you plan to provide testimony or think you might provide testimony. Okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you shall give to the board in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay. Our first and only variance, the owner, McCanum Manspeaker, is requesting a variance to the accessory dwellings unit standards in section 7-14-13B standards of the Unified Development Ordinance, or UDO. The petitioner is seeking relief for an existing non-conforming accessory structure to be renovated as an accessory dwelling unit, and for the detached accessory dwelling unit exceeding 70% of the gross floor area of the primary dwelling unit, or 800 square feet, at 17 Pinedale Road, PIN 9668-09-2133. Mr. Starbaum will be presenting.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Before we begin, I'd like to welcome Chris Fundanish as the new member, and of course, we also have the alternate, Ms. Annette Wise, joining us today, so welcome to this variance. What we have before us is a very standard variance. It is a request concerning ADU standards. As Mr. Wilczynski said, I will start, as I do with any meeting, is I will provide some context in terms of a site map, what the zoning is, some of these standards, and then I'll get into some site photos from a visit and provide some more details from there. So that we'll go ahead. Here is just a quick summary that was provided to you. This is for 714.3B, which is standards. There is a home, and then there is an existing conforming accessory structure. I will get into the existing conforming of the accessory structure, say that 3 times fast, a little bit later, but for now, let's just focus on where this is. This is what we are looking at, and this red circle is the lot. You can see to the south of this circle, you have the A-frame. This was constructed in 1950. This is where the resident, the owner, and the applicant, McKenna, lives. And then just to the north of the lot, you have that existing structure, which was built actually the year before in 1949. Where this is in town is, you can see it is just north of Tunnel Road, just east. This is really not doing me any justice. The Grace Methodist Church, it's just east of that, and that is south and west of Bull Mountain. I mean, she is basically living at the trailhead for that, if you've ever hiked that path before. So this is where we're looking at in town. This is also zoned RS4, which is a residential single-family zone. This is a C of RS4. It is nothing but RS4 all the way north to the municipal boundary, which is what you would expect for the northeast portion of Asheville. And now I want to talk a little bit about the standards, what we're seeking judicial relief from. So this is the standard. I provided 2 things here. There is 3, which is accessory dwelling units, which talks about the spirit of the law. And then there is 3B, which is what is being sought as a variance and has the specific standards. So I'll let you read number 3, which talks about respecting the scale and character of existing neighborhoods. And then there is 3B, which is the standards for how you can construct an accessory dwelling unit. Relevant to this conversation is that an accessory dwelling unit may not exceed the lesser of 70% of the gross floor area or 800 square feet. This is a challenge for the applicant because the existing main structure is 800 square feet already. So what she is at for her primary residence is what the maximum is for an accessory structure. This is remarkably common. Life was much different in 1949. Life was much different in 1950. It is really difficult to have a structure that size today. So 70% of the gross floor area, as I had mentioned in my packet, is around 530 square feet for 70. That's not something that is a realistic dwelling habit by code or by living standard in 2023. So that is what we are looking at. The height is not a concern here. The existing accessory structure is under 25 feet height. It is within the setbacks, so it is, I will show on my side photos, it is off the side and the rear about 3 feet. It is existing non-conforming as an accessory structure. As we go to a dwelling unit, we cannot increase the degree of nonconformity. So there are actually 2 variances we are looking at under 714.13B. The first, and this, we can get 2 birds with 1 stone here. The first is for the size, and then this also makes it occupy a conforming existing. So by granting the variance specifically for 714.13B, you will then handle both the dimensional nonconformity and the size. And again, all the applicant is seeking to do here is turn, and you will see in these site photos, it's a convenient time for that to die, you will see that this is not an apartment complex. This is an accessory dwelling unit for solving a crisis, for using her property to have a second accessory dwelling unit on this site for long-term rental. This,
The second accessory dwelling?
sorry, first accessory dwelling.
Thank you.
Yeah, second unit accessory dwelling. So here is the unit in question. This is the 1-story conventional building that is to the north that the applicant is seeking to propose as an accessory dwelling unit. This is where the resident lives. This is where the parking is. This is the building to the south. This is the A-frame. This was built in 1950, and it does meet all parking and setback standards. And then here you can see Where the dimensional nonconformity is, the fence is the property line, it's just a little bit off of that. But what we're seeing in these two buildings, we have a max gross square floor area of 1,600 to 1,700 square feet, and the applicant is proposing to do renovations, of course, to the accessory dwelling unit, but will not be expanding the footprint in a way that would not meet the spirit of the law for an accessory dwelling. The main challenge is that, again, that this A-frame is, how many square feet is that? Yeah, 820 square feet, so 70% of that makes this a hardship for an accessory dwelling unit. So that is my presentation. That is what the applicant is seeking a variance for, and I would be happy to stand for any questions that you may have.
This is the same lot from 1949.
Yeah.
And so nothing really changed except for the house not been occupied.
That is correct, and this is worth mentioning that the applicant has not created any hardships in this case, that this is all as it was just before 1949, when the stone building, which will be used as an accessory dwelling, was built. Same lot, these have been the same structures. There is no, she is not bringing the hardship upon herself. She's just trying to make it work in the context of.
So in 49 and 50, did that meet the code?
I can't say. I wasn't able to find anything for the code for 1949 and 1950. Did we have a code, Eric? We may not have had a zoning code. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I guess when I asked that, could be considered grandfather at that point in time.
I think it's the renovation that triggers compliance, so that's why we're here.
Yeah, the interior does not match the quality of the exterior, so there will have to be work to bring it up to standard to residential building code. And anytime you do substantial renovation, it has to meet current building and zoning codes, and that's what brings us before you today.
And there would be no addition, it's just a matter of renovating inside what's there.
That is my understanding. I'll let the applicant speak to that, but that was also in the application.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Starbuck?
No.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, member of the board, thank you.
Ms. Van Speaker, would you like to speak? And would you begin by identifying yourself?
Sure. My name is McKenna Manspeaker, owner of 17 Pinedale Road. In addition to the application, I would just like to share a few points that I hope will be in favor of approving the variances. First and foremost, the variance requests are derived from a structure that is already existing, so no new building, no new square footage will be added. And as mentioned, and as you can see, the structure is currently completely uninhabitable, but with these approvals and with the appropriate professional guidance, I would like to turn it into a living structure. Second, to the best of my knowledge, there's no additional utility line, no gas line, or no electricity needed. All those are in existence and are not retired yet, so there would be no new hardships or any additions for city resources. And then I recognize that the nature of the variances are to protect city ordinances, but in this case, I hope the board can see that my goal is just to refurbish an already existing structure and provide long-term housing in the city of Asheville. But that is all I have for you today. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions from the board?
I have a question.
Yep.
Did you use a buyer's agent or a realtor to purchase the property?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did they have anything to say about this when you bought it?
Not in particular, other than I think they used it just kind of as a glorified shed, the prior owners, but since then it's been unusable.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak? I don't see anyone from the public in the meeting at all. Thank you. Okay. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to. Jinx. Oh, me okay. You may make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve both of the variances as stated.
I second.
Second.
Is there discussion?
This seems incredibly cut and dry to me.
Yeah, and it's very clear cut, so I Mr. President, motion to approve both. I don't see any reason why not.
Yeah, I would have a tendency to agree with that myself.
Pension improvement and also providing housing.
So much needed housing, yes. Any other comments from the board? Okay. Board members, when I say your name, please say aye or nay. Ms. Scottsy?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Mr. Fundanish?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion for the approval of the variance is approved. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. So I just spent more time driving in than you did during the case. And then we actually have no other matters before you today, so.
If there are no objections, we will adjourn the meeting. Are there any objections?
None.
The meeting is adjourned.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
My HRC meeting.